Hey, what's up, guys? I have another horror movie review for you this time. Solo review, just me. I went to the theater, I think, like 2 days ago to see X. That's the title of the movie, X. I really only found out about the movie because I saw like a little trailer on like an ad on Instagram because I'd never heard of the movie prior to that, and it looked really creepy. But it was an A24 movie. Now, A24, they do a lot of, like, I think it's like, for me, they're really hit or miss. They're very, like, art housey. Like, they did The Witch. They did that Swiss Army Man movie, that really fucking weird movie with Elijah Wood. They've done a bunch of really, like, artsy type movies. Now, they've done a couple movies that I like Ex Machina. I thought that movie was really, really good. They did Hereditary. I'm not like a huge fan of Hereditary, but they also did Green Room. I really like Green Room. So it's a mixed bag. But this one looked really interesting, and like despite the fact that it was A24, I decided to check it out. Directed by Ty West, who did House of the Devil and The Roost. I'm not like a huge like Ty West fan. I think I liked House of the Devil. I thought it was a little overrated, but it was still pretty good. I don't remember The Roost very well because I saw that a long ass time ago. And then he's done a lot of little stuff since then, like little TV episodes, things like that. But the movie stars Martin Henderson from The Ring remake, which as I was seeing him on screen, I was like, I know this guy. And then I had to look him up on IMDb, and I was like, that's where I know him from because I really love that Ring remake. Brittany Snow, who I recognized right away. And then I didn't realize Kid Cudi is in this movie. He's also executive producer, which I thought was really strange. I had no idea he was doing movies or anything. I just knew him. I don't even listen to his music, but I know he did music or does music. I don't know. And Mia Goth, who I'd never heard of before, she plays the lead character, kind of the lead. The movie takes place in 1979, and that's kind of the cool thing about the movie is it's that aesthetic. It's a little bit Texas Chainsaw Massacre in that sense. Like they definitely take like that aesthetic and use it for sure. Because it's 79, you see the little bleed of like 80s stuff in it too. But that's just like in the aesthetic of the movie. And basically what happens is these characters, Mia Goth and her boyfriend, and Kid Cudi and Brittany Snow, and this filmographer and his girlfriend who does the sound, decide that they're going to make this adult film out in kind of like the middle of nowhere. You could tell the budget only because the locations are so limited. Like it starts out and you get this crazy crane shot of like this factory and all this crazy stuff, and you think like, damn. But then like that's only in like the first 15 minutes, and after that it all takes place on this old man's property, and it's this old man and his wife, and they live on this little farmhouse. And this adult film that they're doing is called like The Farmer's Daughter or something like that, and they're trying to like basically make a movie with porn in it, I think is kind of what they're going for. They're talking about like at that point like home video, like the director guy's talking about like, oh man, we're gonna make it big at home video, when we make this movie. And like I said, the lead actress, her name's her character's name in the movie is Maxine. She just wants to be a star, and the guy keeps saying she has the X factor, which I think is why they call the movie X. And they're also shooting a porn movie, so it's called X. This guy that lives at the house, this old man, is like there's all these shots of like this Southern Baptist preacher on these little TVs, and he's talking about like these heathens that are sexual deviants and all this stuff. And so they go to this guy. This guy's kind of like, he's really weird. He pulls his gun out on them, and they're like uneasy, but they settle in, and they eventually go to like this little side house that he has. And that's basically where the movie unfolds. The guy's wife is like has dementia, but she's really, really creepy looking. Like, she's the main reason why I watched the movie, or why I went to go see the movie, because when I saw the trailer, I was like, damn. Like, her makeup, the makeup application that they did on her, which I think, according to the credits, it's played by the lead actress, Mia Goth, plays both characters. But there's times where they're both on screen, so I'm sure they had, like, doubles and stuff like that. But, like, she looks creepy as hell. She reminds me of, if you've ever seen the original Pet Sematary, Zelda, who is, for me, the most terrifying on film character of all time. That movie scares the shit out of me still to this day. And the lady reminds me of her. Her name's Pearl. And so, you know, I'm going to get into spoilers a little bit later. But, you know, they did a really good job shooting it. There's a moment in the movie where this has only ever happened, like, maybe 2 times, including this one, where I almost got up and left the theater because there was something that happened that just, like, made me feel so uncomfortable and, like, pissed off, maybe. I don't know, but it happened, and it was happening, and I was like, I want to leave, you know? It doesn't happen often. I think the other movie was Jennifer's Body, but that was for different reasons. Yeah, I'll get into it when I, like, specify that I'm getting into spoilers. But what they do is, after that moment happens, is when the movie really kicks up. Because to this point, they're, like, filming sex scenes, and, like, you know, they show, like, there's boobs and stuff, you know what I mean? They're shooting a sex film. And, you know, up until that point, you're like, okay, what's going to happen? And I guess I'll start to get into spoilers here. What happens is the old lady is, like, basically fiending for love, like, fiending for touch, fiending for sex, basically. She's, like, getting old, and she's upset that she's getting old, and she sees all these young people that come to her little place, and she basically goes into, like, a murderous rage. And so she starts killing off people. And the moment that, like, the moment that pissed me off and almost made me leave the theater is they're filming these sex scenes, right? And it's the lead actress and then Brittany Snow's character, and they're all having sex with this one guy, Kid Cudi. And they're all sitting around in this room, and then they do this huge exposition dump, which is something else I didn't really like, where they basically lay out the whole plot for you. Like, the whole film is laid out in this moment, where they're like, you know, oh, we're young, and we can have sex while we're young, and, you know, we can be promiscuous as we want, and there's a difference between love and sex, and, like, all, like, they lay the whole film out for you, why the old lady's pissed, all this. They lay it all out for you if you were dumb up to this point. And anyway, so they're having that conversation in like this little living room area where they're at, and then the guy who's shooting the film, not the director, but there's, like, kind of like this squirrely guy who's been filming everything. His girlfriend, like I said, they call her Church Mouse because she hardly talks the entire film, and she's only the sound girl. And she's like, I want to film. I'm going to be in the movie. Like, I want to shoot a sex scene. And obviously this upsets the squirrely guy who's her boyfriend, and he's like, no, you can't do it, you know. And he doesn't really say why, you know. He just says, you can't, because we can't change the plot, you know what I mean? We can't do it because of this, you know, stupid shit. He doesn't say, you know, you can't do it because I'll leave you, or because that'll make me feel like trash, you know what I mean? He just comes up with these stupid reasons. And, like, this is where I started to get uncomfortable. I was like, don't do this, you know what I'm saying? And, like, they go to shoot it, and it's like, you see the dude, and he's like all the colors run out of his face. He's like he doesn't, you know, he's in another planet basically, and it's like slow motion, and he's like walking into the room with the camera, and then he sees his girl sitting on the bed, like, with no top, just in her like panties, and he's just like, is this happening, basically? And I'm like, don't show this, you know what I mean? Don't film this, you know what I mean? Like, this is so, you know. And they don't film it, but the guy gets cucked, basically, and he has to film it. And I almost left. I was like so like uncomfortable and like pissed off for that character. I don't know. It was so like I can't even explain it. It just like it was like oh, it gave me the heebie-jeebies. I don't even like I said I don't even know how to describe it. It was just oh. And I mean, you know, and then that night you see her like laying in bed that night sleeping, and he's not there, and then like pans over to the shower and he's taking a shower, like crying in the shower, and I'm just like, oh. And like I said, that scene is followed up by like the crazy shit, and I think they do that on purpose because I think they know, okay, we made people really uncomfortable, we probably pissed off a lot of people, let's give them what they wanted when they came to see this movie. So he goes to leave. He's like, fuck them, I'm leaving. And he's driving away, and as he's getting ready to leave in their truck, the old woman is just standing in the road. Just like, you know, dazed, like she don't know what the hell's going on. And he's like, you know, fuck. So he gets out of the truck and he goes up to her. He's like, hey, you okay? You know, I hope you're doing all right. And he like, just like kind of trying to move her. And the whole time she's got like a hand behind her back. And, you know this shit's coming as somebody who's watching it, you know. And then she just sticks him in the throat. And then he, like, you know, he goes, he kind of, it's a little bit of an over-exaggerated death, but he kind of falls back. And then she goes to town on his neck. Like it looks like she decapitated him with stabs. It's really, really bloody. And then it proceeds to go that way. You know, the old man is trying to find his wife, and they lock that church mouse girl in the basement. There's a guy chained up in the basement. You know, you kind of see where this is going. You know, just one by one, they're starting hunting people down, and eventually, you know, like I said, people start dying. There's this one crazy death where the old woman pushes the Brittany Snow. This is the most unrealistic moment in the movie, because I'll say to this point, they did a really good job of like not making it unrealistic for two old people to kill a bunch of young people. They did a really good job of like hiding it up until this point, because she pushes the Brittany Snow character into this lake where they have this like alligator crocodile they've like trained to eat people, I guess. And you're thinking, oh, okay, crap, she gets pushed in there. You see the crocodile earlier in the movie, so you think, oh, okay, she's gonna get... The crocodile jumps out of the water and fucking snatches her head, like chomps on her head and pulls her under. And I'm just like, really convenient timing on that chomp right there. But that's probably the most unrealistic moment in the whole movie. Yeah, so all these people are getting killed and shit. And then, obviously, it comes to a head when Maxine, the main character that I was talking about with the X Factor, goes into the house to try and save the church mouse girl to get the keys so that they can get the fuck out. And it comes to a head. Church mouse gets shot in the head with the old man's shotgun, and then he has a heart attack, which was part of the whole thing. I mean, bro, I skipped over one of the other nastiest parts in this fucking movie. So there's a scene where it's also kind of a creepy part. The old lady's like kind of like, this is part where the old lady is like stalking them, right? And she gets into the house where they're staying, and the black dude leaves. Kid Cudi's character leaves, and so the old lady kind of comes out, shuttles out, and she goes into the main character Maxine's room while Maxine's like laying like away, so she's like sleeping. So the old lady crawls into bed with her, and like all I could picture was her rolling over the next day and like waking up with the old lady next to her. I had that visual in my head like as this was happening. And so she starts like massaging her and like being real, you know, like sexual, because she's like sexually deprived, right? And she wakes up and she's like, what the fuck? Like, she's touching me and all this, you know. So she fucking runs out the room, and then somehow the old man gets in there, and he finds her like laying in there, and then like for some reason Maxine comes back. Like, this part's blurry because I saw it a couple days ago, but like I just remember this is the kind of the way the situation went. And so she's underneath the bed, and the old man comes in the room, and like she starts touching him, and then like they have sex on top of this bed while Maxine is under the bed. So there's like old people sex. It's, I'm telling you, this movie is a fucking trip, and it makes it really hard for me to like properly tell you how I feel about the movie, because there's like some really cool deaths, but there's also this really weird, like the dude getting cocked and then old people sex, where it's like, what the fuck? You know, it's really like all over the place. But like I was saying, the end of the movie, a church mouse gets shot with a shotgun. It like blows like part of her face off, and then the old man has a heart attack in the house, which is why he wasn't having sex with his wife. He was afraid he was gonna have a heart attack, which I think is why he had that old man in the basement, he had the guy in the basement tied up, because I think he was like using that guy as like a sex slave for his wife. It's not explicitly said, but it's kind of what I think happened. And so the main character has this gun that she got out of the glove box that they had in her truck, and she's like gonna shoot the old lady with it, and she pulls the trigger and there's no bullets in the fucking gun, and then the old lady picks up their shotgun and like shoots at her. And I laughed out loud at this part. She shoots at her, she misses and hits the wall near her, but the blowback of the shotgun like throws her back like violently, and she falls like all the way through the door and rolls off the porch. And so eventually Maxine, the lead character, gets up and is like disoriented, you know what I mean? And she walks out, and then the old lady is like, oh, help me, my hip, oh. And Maxine's just like, basically like, fuck you. And she gets up in her truck, and then the old lady's like crawling out, and like I could tell what's gonna happen here, because there's like a road and then there's the truck, and the old lady is like crawling out towards the road, and she's like, the old lady is basically like, fuck you, you'll always be, you know, a deviant, you know, you'll go to hell, all this other shit. And then I could see, you know where this is going. Maxine puts it in reverse, backs over Pearl's head, splash, like the skull like cracks open, you see almost all of it, and then drives away. And then that's where the credits roll. Well, not quite where the credits roll, because there was a beginning scene with the cops that see what happened, and then you see why all this stuff happened. Then the cops come back, they find the film that they were making that they obviously never finished, and they see the carnage that happened because of what happened at this house. Yeah, so like you could tell from the way I described this movie, and I didn't even tell you all the deaths and all the crazy shit that happened. There's a lot that fucking happens in this movie, and like I said, I don't really know how I feel about it. I didn't hate it, I don't really know how I feel about it, if I'm gonna be completely honest, because there are so many like weird things. Like I said, I almost walked out of the fucking theater at one point, it's like I said, they do that, and I think they do that, and they know that people are going to be pissed. They know that people are going to be like, what the fuck is this? So they follow it up with the crazy ass kills and all the other crazy shit that happens. This one is so hard to like, I would say watch it. I would definitely recommend you watch it and like get your own like, feeling about the movie. Just know that there's like some like, the stuff that I described, like a dude gets cucked, and some pretty grisly deaths, and old people sex. I don't know, some people are into that kind of thing. It's a ride, that's for damn sure. It's a ride for damn sure. Whether or not you'll like it, I don't know. I thought the main character, Martin Henderson, who plays Wayne, who's kind of like he's the guy with the plan. He writes the script, he does all that stuff. He was really good in this movie. Really, really good. They have really weird accents in the film too, which like kind of like it bugged me for a little bit, but after you hear it for a while, you don't really think about it. I don't even know what accents they had. They sounded kind of southern, but like I don't know what they were going for with the accents. It was just really strange. The soundtrack is like, stuff that you would hear from the 70s and shit, Yeah, it's a ride. It's definitely worth checking out. I would recommend you check it out, only because it's so batshit insane. Like, it's so crazy that, like, you'll probably get something out of it. You'll either laugh your ass off, or you'll be, like, so disgusted. So, like, if you want to feel something, whether or not it's complete hatred, or, like, you're like, what the fuck? this is definitely the movie for you. And if you watch it, I know in the United States, I don't think they do it in other countries, but in the States, if you watch it all the way through, at the very end, like Marvel, there's an end credit scene. Like, it's like a mini trailer for a prequel of sorts about Pearl, who was the crazy lady in the movie. And you get to see her back in like the 40s, or, you know, way back when she was young, and like what, like, it didn't just, you when you watch that, you realize like she didn't just go crazy in old age, she was crazy at a young age. And the trailer that they put at the end, it's like I said, if you've seen the movie Grindhouse and you remember like those, like Thanksgiving that Eli Roth shot, and the Rob Zombie werewolf women of the SS, those, it's like that. And there's like, it's really, it's like a highlight reel basically of like deaths and crazy stuff going on. Yeah, I recommend you check it out, only because it's so batshit insane that you will either love it or you'll love to hate it, I think. But yeah, that was it. X by Ty West. It's in theaters right now. I don't know how long it's going to be in theaters, because it's kind of a smaller film, so I don't know how long it'll stay in theaters, but yeah, an interesting one to say the least. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys again real soon.